Lifetime Achievement Award medal right now. She's an awardee, and she's a poet, a freelance writer, and she will be launching her 10th poetry book entitled Imagining Lives. Please, let's welcome with a big round of applause, Miss Bernice Lever.
She will be launching her book today, so please go over and look at it at the table and buy one. Welcome, Bernice. Thank you.
Well, glad to see a few smiling faces here. I have a lot of thanks to Ariadne and the World Poets. They've provided me with much entertainment and support over the years. Now that they're holding events in at least 3 cities. You're in Vancouver, you're in Richmond, and before I know it, they'll be over on Bowen Island where I live. Actually, my book, Imagining Lives, you also have to imagine the author. Because for some reason, although they sent me through the email system, you know, and I signed off on the book, the book, when it arrived, didn't have the name of the author. Oh. It probably slid off at the publishers, but there's not much hope that a small press can reprint a book quickly. They have to wait till their next press run. They're 6 months apart, and I just think it's an interesting thing. I've suggested to Fresh Air on the radio that they have a little program one day where they talk about surprising and boo-boo covers.
Boo-boo covers. That's the most serious. Very serious.
I took the title Imagining Lives because there are a few, probably all imagined poems, but I did write about my aunt who was taken in as an orphan and just ready just before she started school by a farm family about 100 years ago in Alberta, and that happened to many people in Canada. Some of them were sent as orphans from the wars in Europe and ended up on farms being child labor, and some just because they were orphans here in this country. Everyone envies our wealth and freedom around the world, and yet there always have been children that suffer in every land. Luckily, some of that has disappeared in recent decades. The poem I'm going to read to start with then will be one where I'm remembering Uncle Thomas. And it's probably straightforward unless there are people that don't know the expression. My sister and I, we both went to normal school, which was teacher training in past decades. And of course my brother always complained that we were the only 2 in the family that had to be normal. Lunch with Uncle Thomas. He's my Victoria one, the saved one, with dozens of them, uncles that is. I had to label them for my own who's who. No way to prepare for the unexpected, just had to visit, having a full year, my teacher training on the island. Is Bert still on the bottle? Were the first words out of his mouth. No words of welcome as I step into their parlor, least Auntie Anne in her checkered dark dress. She had a limp hug up the front step, but now she was silent. Sure enough, there was a scrawny cot shoved against the wall, 4 chairs pushed in the table, just as Mum had said, 'cause Uncle Thomas, being saved and all, slept alone, had for years. His bright, bulging eyes stared me silly. His words were like cough-like spurts, constricted by his too tight Sunday tie. No handshake even for me, Natch. I paused, puzzling for a good answer, Still wanting my lunch, I sniffed clam chowder. Answer me, girl. A man either carries a bottle or a Bible. Dad doesn't take it everywhere. I mean, not to work. Bert's fourth daughter, clever as ever with words, just like your sisters. God will make him pay, you know. I hope we'd sit for grace soon. Auntie Anne had the table laid out with her flowered china. Cuz was very late. Guess she wanted to skip the sermon. That was the first time I drank my coffee black. After seeing Uncle Thomas lick the drip off the creamer spout. Thank goodness for serving the men first. Oh, don't worry. We can wait till I get through half a dozen of these. This is more or less from my own childhood. In the days before contemporary things, and maybe today Play-Doh is even old-fashioned. Pre-Play-Doh. Copying Mother's nimble fingers, my sister and I shaped our mud cookies, setting each uniform patty in sunlit row to bake. Our oven was a weathered board balancing on 2 bricks. We rounded up strong twigs for cleaning a patch of garden path, collected handfuls of fine silt, avoiding the coarse manure-fed area, scooped up tiny rain ponds from the logs until our fat fingers could massage these basic ingredients. Rabbit droppings were raisins for us in those pre-chocolate chip days. Often we tugged Mum outdoors to view our backyard creativity. Once she caught me and paddled me with her wooden spoon for tasting our cookie dough. Never learned. Modern doctors claim Earth builds immune systems. Not so sterilized toys. Guess Grandma was right. You have to eat a peck of dirt. I don't know.
That's true, though.
Especially if you live in high-rise buildings totally isolated from the world, from the earth and rain and oxygen from plants or whatever, just stuck in your little cement box. This is built from taking 3 lines from the poem of someone I admire as a poet, Margaret Avison, and so it's called a glossa. And if you quote 3 lines, then you have to create 3 verses. And the very last line of each verse, each stanza, is exactly the same as the poet that you are praising. It's a Spanish form where you sort of imitate a voice because you like how they write. And mine is called Going On Alone. It's good to face life's erasers solo, staring at the wind-flapping branches, daring one to snap, sail down to shrivel, grounded. Only you at tear-streaked windows, weather mirroring your woe. You mutter choices, now creation, now cremation, fire, or embalming beauty, to your empty, misnamed living room. It's good that there's no one there. Your racking sobs jar loose decade-buried images, even whole video cheering clips of what may have been your past, entwined, or pastel-painted edits linked by constant change, unhooked by law, never loved, no one to witness these old tensions. Each death or breath clarifies our muddled minds, so life's scale dangles unbalanced, lips smile, skin scent again, so much yearning, until angry balled fists weigh down the opposing side, your memories smeared together once more, recalling old bonds, new fear. don't know whether we should. Maybe we won't look at thoughts at 3 a.m. I don't know if many of you have had scans, seen the inside of yourself. Whether you've got x-rays on MRIs and all these fancy pictures. Sometimes I think we look better on the outside. This poem is called Ignore Linear. Minds are beyond machines, light years away from their maps. Do you know what I adore best about those MRIs? Those black and white negatives of my brain. No straight lines. Not even a few triangles, rhombus, or rhomboid figures shaded 3D. Yes, most of all I adore those unpredictable curves, hairpin switchbacks, crinkly vines, touching digits in my bumpy, bulging, creviced mind. No, they're second. First was that random light show, impulses still flashing, on and off. Then on again. Just believe that there is more than 0 and 1 in your gray matter. This is more, as you can see on the page, of being a prose poem from